Yo, what is going on, Cover One Crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's doing good as always, man. Today we are continuing with this fantasy football push, and it is way too low on some of these wide receivers and running backs that we do got on the board. I got two for y'all today. The ADP is just way too low for these gentlemen, and we definitely got to understand why. Why is this the case for the ADP being as low as it is? But I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. They could be a little bit in that sleeper category, even though they are established veteran presence in the NFL. I'm still on board. I still like it a lot, and I'll give you the reason why these gentlemen are the way they are today. But for that draft guide winner, as promised, let's spin that wheel of mayhem and see who is the winner on this one as well. And we got a winner chicken dinner, baby. And it is Aegis6893. Congratulations on your free draft guide. I will touch base with you in the comments on how you can get your draft guide today. Speaking of draft guide, everyone get your copy today. If you are not the lucky winner and you can't wait, I'm telling you, you shouldn't wait because this thing is too damn good to be waiting on, and it's on the cover1.net. Go get your copy today. I'm not going to stop preaching this thing up, but let's talk a little George Pickens. First one on the board, man. ADP wide receiver 31, overall 68. Last year he was the wide receiver 42, and I think the stink of the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they did not do with this man still reigns supreme on his ADP here this season, man. 134.9 points in only 14 games. Definitely was a problem for a lot of y'all, and I had shares of George Pickens last year as well, but now he is with these Dallas Cowboys. Definitely changes the whole landscape of how we should be, evaluating and approaching a George Pickens in 2025. 110%. Last year's boom rate, not great, man. Under 50%, 42.9%, I should say. But I mean, it is a situation when you look at the rankings and where he does rest in between a lot of these gentlemen, man. Xavier Worthy, wide receiver 27. Ted McMillan, rookie 28, wide receiver 28. Jalen Waddle time, wide receiver 29. We got Calvin Ridley at wide receiver 30. George Pickens at wide receiver 31. Chris Olave, CO2, my guy, at 32. Travis Hunter, rookie 33. Chris Godwin sitting at 34, coming off that gruesome ankle injury. And Jerry Jeudy slots in at wide receiver 35. So when you're talking about this group of 9 wide receivers in this level of the draft, I don't see how we can buck the trend on a George Pickens. Yes, I understand, the off-field issues, the lack of effort at times, but this man is a true specimen, and playing on a Dallas Cowboys squad, it could bring out lights out fire for this team, man. You talking Worthy? Is he ever going to be what everybody wants him to be? I'm a huge Worthy guy as well. He's got speed for days, but you still got Hollywood. Rasheed Rice is back, and then you got a rookie in Royals that's going to take some bread out of his mouth. Ted McMillan is legit. I am a big fan of Ted, but I mean, playing with Bryce Young in year one, are we going to really see and hope that he's going to get, 1,200 yards, 1,100 yards in his rookie season in that Carolina offense? We will see, man. They added guys like Hunter Renfrow, Adam Thielen still there, so we will see. Bryce Young is still improving. Can he support multiple wide receivers of 1,000 to 850? I mean, that's still to be seen in that Carolina Panthers offense, so it is still a risk. Jalen Waddle time coming off massive injuries last year, and I mean, okay, yeah, everybody is criticizing Tyreek Hill in that locker room for not being a quality teammate, but I'm telling y'all right now, even with a Calvin Ridley, I think that one does have the ability to bear good fruit with a Cam Ward, because he is the wide receiver one, then but look at the ADP, man. Wide receiver 30, you're understanding why people are fearful of the rookie quarterback issue. Even though Calvin Ridley, I do like him as my wide receiver 3. George Pickens can easily be your wide receiver 2 on any fantasy football team, and he should be able to bear a lot of fruit for us. Chris Olave is my dude. You guys know me in CO2, but I mean, the concussions and the issues at the quarterback spot, who's going to play quarterback? Is it the Rooks, Shog? Is it going to be Spencer Rattler? I mean, it's going to be a lot of growing pains there as well. Travis Hunter, we will see how he does, shape out with being a defensive back wide receiver. Chris Godwin, injuries, he's going to be starting the season likely on the pup, so we'll see how that does go. And then Jerry Jeudy with his own quarterback situations. You got one of the safer wide receivers here sitting at wide receiver 31 and George Pickens. I do not understand why the bias is so heavy he is now on these Dallas Cowboys. Let's break it down statistically just a little bit with Dak Prescott, a healthy Dak Prescott. That is one of the situations that we can say that we could hedge bet and say, yeah, George is good, but the value is great because Dak Prescott goes down with injury. I can't argue that. Dak needs to stay healthy, and he needs to stay on the field for a full 17. If he does, we have seen it in the years 2019, 2021, and 2023, where he was 4,500 yards, 4,400 yards, and 4,900 yards respectively in those seasons, over 30 touchdowns every single year in those campaigns, and threw 11, 10, and 9 interceptions. This Dak Prescott is a beast when he is on the field for a full 17. He can support multiple wide receivers as seen in the past, like we have seen with guys like CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. We've seen it all, man. Dak Prescott, 351 points in that 2023 year, 330 points 2021, and then 338 in 2019. His boom rates are still good as well, man. 76%, almost 70%, and 81% in those years, respectively, as well. QB3, QB7, QB2. You understand. I'm rattling off a bunch of stats, but, you got to understand what Dak Prescott, when he is on the field, what he is capable of doing, and this is exactly what he can do. Has he had a tandem like this since Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb? No, he has not. They've been trying to fill in the void with guys like Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, etc. Michael Gallup is no longer there. You're talking about a wide receiver cast now with a CeeDee Lamb and a George Pickens. It is absolutely going to be unbelievable what these two gentlemen can do on the field, man. 2023, when Dak Prescott did have that big season, 181 targets went to a CeeDee Lamb and only 81 to Brandon Cooks, who was the second best wide receiver on the team in that season. You're going to talk about curtailing back CeeDee Lamb's target share, even if it is 135 to 140 targets for CeeDee Lamb. There's going to be open opportunity for a George Pickens to get a career high in target share with these Dallas Cowboys here in 2025. 120 targets coming to George Pickens is not out of the question. We can see a big-time 200-plus point season for a wide receiver 31. Sign me up all freaking day long. You see where these Dallas Cowboys did spread this ball around with, Brandon Cooks. 146 points. You see Amari Cooper, 168, and then you see Michael Gallup with 179. So a lot of people looking at this bias saying even though Dak threw nearly 5,000 yards, he still couldn't support two wide receivers over 200 points. I don't buy it with this because now you got two wide receivers who can actually be beneficiaries to each other because they can both separate, and they're both extremely athletic and freakish on the field when they are playing. George Pickens, baby, career stats, we're going to see, man. 84 targets, 106 targets, 103 targets. You see where he's at. He has one 1,100-yard receiving campaign, but only has met a 5-touchdown ceiling at this point, which could definitely inflate anywhere from 6 to 10 TDs with these Dallas Cowboys if played properly. We'll see how the run game does work in Dallas with Javonte Williams, with Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue, my guy, the blueprint. But, we'll see how this run game does go. So if Dak Prescott is healthy, plays a full 17, and the run game hopefully can at least establish some play-action pass, you're going to see CeeDee Lamb and a George Pickens running free on the regular because nobody's going to be able to double-team any of these gentlemen. We've basically seen over the 3 years for George Pickens in his career, it's 140 points, 177 points, and then 134. But, Pickens has never had a quarterback like a Dak Prescott thus far. He's had Russell Wilson on the aging trend, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett. That's a pretty, meek set of quarterbacks to be playing with. We know Dak. Is Dak Prescott elite? Argumentative, okay? We'll put it in that respect, but at least Dak Prescott can put up a lot of stats and move the football, man. The supporting cast of these wide receivers hasn't been horrible for a George Pickens in his past. He's played with guys like Deontay Johnson, but it's nothing compared to what a CeeDee Lamb is. Pickens is truly an alpha wide receiver, and he is playing with guys like CeeDee Lamb, who is an alpha as well. Coverage, like I said, will be limited. You're not going to be able to guard both these gentlemen on double teams, and if they do try to double a Lamb, and Lamb could be in the slot as well, eating up everybody to come his way, George Pickens could definitely, have a monster campaign based on all those circumstances, and if Dak can stay healthy, there's no question this offense could pass for 5,000 yards this year without question in my mind, even though, it does drop a a George Pickens to a wide receiver 2 on this offense, that's absolutely positives for us when it comes to fantasy football, because he will not see DB1s to his side likely majority of the season. And we know, man, the stuff this guy can pull. I mean, we remember him diving backwards, making that grab. We know what George Pickens can do, man. The points should definitely roll in. ADP value to ROI is extremely high, so y'all way too low on a George Pickens at this point, ranking him at that wide receiver 31, and ADP is absolutely criminal at this point. I'm absolutely all in. If I'm actually hoping that George stays at that low level so we can garner those returns on investment. I'm all in on a George Pickens this year. David Montgomery, next one on the board. Monty, my dude. I mean, not necessarily my dude, but I'm gonna claim him to be my dude now that he is with these Detroit Lions, because every year I got him since he's been in Detroit those 2 past years. He's just been killing it for me every single year, man. Running back 21 on the ADP, overall 55. He finished last year as a running back 18, but that's due in part to the injuries. He missed 3 contests. That would have definitely crept him up into running back 12 numbers had he not missed those 3 contests to that injury that he did sustain. But we're talking the rankings. I mean, 85.7% on the boom rate. This guy just booms like a madman, and I'll continue with that one on next segments on this as well. But the running back rankings right now, Chuba Hubbard, running back 17, rookie Omarion Hampton, running back 18, James Conner, 19, Joe Mixon, running back 20. Now that he sustained an injury, that should likely go down in the coming weeks for a Joey Jojo. His ADP should definitely fall down the board as well. DeAndre Swift, running back 22. Trevion Henderson, my guy. That is truly my guy, Trey. I mean, running back 23. Love the upside for Trey with these Patriots and Drake May. RJ Harvey, running back 24, and then Aaron Jones rounding it out at running back 25. You understand we can make arguments for all of these running backs. There is no question in my mind. Chuba, I've never been the biggest Chuba supporter, but this guy does put up a lot of points, so it's hard to hate on the man. Omarion Hampton is another one of my guys. If you're picking a running back, with a rookie status this year, Omarion Hampton definitely is going to see a lot of workload. I'm not terrified whatsoever of the Najee Harris effect, so there definitely is a value to be warranting Omarion Hampton at running back 18. James Conner does put up a lot of numbers. There is no question, and I don't dislike it. Obviously, I covered Joe Mixon's injury, but David Montgomery, 85% on that boom rate, and this man was basically automatic scoring touchdowns for us last year. This guy is still a cream of the crop running back for fantasy football. Week in, week out, this guy does nothing but produce. 85% on that boom rate. You understand what I'm saying. You slot him into your lineup, he's giving you anywhere from 10 to 15 points a week at minimum, and it's all you require from your running back 2-3. It's absolutely stellar, man. DeAndre Swift with these Bears offense. We'll see how it does shake down. Growing pains are going to be there with Ben Johnson, Trey, obviously, like I said, and then Aaron Jones. I mean, he's still, for me, I'm a big Aaron Jones supporter, especially where the value you can get him. He is aging, but in this Minnesota Vikings offense now with J.J. McCarthy, they're going to have to lean on this man quite a bit more. We're talking about the Jahmyr Gibbs Gibby effect for a David Montgomery. This is big, okay? And I understand why a lot of people are saying, I'm going to drop David Montgomery down my board just a little bit because of the guy that plays with him in a Jahmyr Gibbs. 2 seasons in the NFL, playing with a Monty in Detroit, 250 attempts, 14-12 in yards, 16 TDs last year. He was an absolute beast of a running back last year, 336.9, finished as the running back 2, 94% on that boom rate. This is what I'm talking about. We talk about the consistency in a Monty. Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibby is the staple of consistency at 94%. This guy was an absolute dynamo and killer for us. And even coming back to his rookie campaign, 216 points, still finished as the running back 10, but 46% on that boom rate. You see the difference season over season and how good he is. Like I said, the Jahmyr Gibby effect, it is definitely real, but notwithstanding to say that we cannot keep a Monty going because this backfield right now, even though Gibby did have that monster season, it's because Monty went down for 3 games, the last 3 games of the season, and I mean, coincidentally enough, not coincidentally enough, 26.8% of Gibbs' production came in those last 3 games. That's nothing to sneeze at, man. 23 points, 43.5 points in those last 3 games where Monty was in the medical room. And that, I mean, that says a lot. When you're talking about almost 27% of your production came in the final 3 games without a Montgomery. I get it. A lot of people are suggesting that they don't need a Montgomery. They can utilize a Gibbs as a full-time, thoroughbred running back, workhorse running back, 3-down running back. And I'm not going to argue it because he has proven that he can withstand. But I mean, this team in Detroit, it's safe to say that Gibbs can handle that workload. But I'm telling y'all right now, this team is still on the tandem approach, and they are dedicated to that craft under Coach Campbell. You know they like to run both, speed and heavy, and they're going to do this again this year. And what is very interesting, I mean, the offensive coordinator, how is it going to work in this offense with this OC? Are they going to go with the run in the pass, much like they did with Ben Johnson? That is definitely what we're going to see. Can Gibbs, take more points this year again? Absolutely. I mean, Gibbs is the guy you're going for number one in this offense, but David Montgomery, like I said, notwithstanding, he can still put up a lot of numbers for us, and he should do that again as well, I should say, in this offense here in 2025. We're talking David Montgomery, where we have him right now. I mean, statistically speaking, with these Lions, he had a 1,000-yard season in 2023. Injuries did derail him, but he was on pace to get over that 1,000 yards, scored 12 touchdowns, like I said, missing those 3 contests. He was nearly a touchdown per game performer, and you could have bet on anytime TDs for a Montgomery. He was always paying off basically every single week, man. 85% boom rate in back-to-back seasons with these Detroit Lions is nothing to sneeze at. Like I said, you're looking for consistency in your running backs, whether it be running back 2 or 3, does not matter. You got to have the consistency. If you got Monty as your running back 3 in some leagues like I did last year, he was earning us so many points that it was like, okay, I'm down by 35. I don't care. I still got Monty to play. He's going to get me 15, and I'm going to be smiling in the aggregate. This is what you're looking for, the consistency and point productivity, and David Montgomery still is going to be that, barring any health issues, obviously. I mean, Monty, like I said, okay, even though he's missed 6 games over the last 2 years, that is another issue why a lot of people are dropping him down the board, saying that eventually Gibbs is going to take over. Sure, I'm not going to argue that either, but missing 6 games does hurt you over the last 2 years. But I mean, last season, it was, like I said, nearly a TD a game. And I mean, Gibbs, everyone wants to say that he's going to take over this backfield with this new offensive coordinator. I don't see it here in 2025. Maybe as we do move down future seasons, they will trust Gibbs to be that guy. But as long as Amonte is in this backfield, it is going to be a tandem with this new offensive coordinator. Hopefully, they're going to, lean on this run game quite a bit, because we don't understand how the pass game might be in the new system. Growing pains. I mean, we saw with Matt Ryan and those Falcons every year. I mean, it seems like they were changing over offense coordinators, and we know how good that Atlanta Falcons offense was, but every time they had a changeover at OC, they had growing pains at least for the first 5 games. So in that, how do you alleviate that? You lean on the ground game, and I do believe that leaning on a Monty and a Gibby is going to be the standard. And like I said, barring any health issues for a Montgomery, he's one of the safest backs in the rounds that we do see him going at, even though we can make arguments for all those other running backs. Like I did mention, I just love the consistency out of a Monty each and every week. ADP value to return is definitely high. Y'all be way too low on my dude, David Montgomery. Absolutely great value to return on investment on these gentlemen, on George Pickens and a David Montgomery. You get them in your lineups. If you get them as wide receiver 3 and running back 3, you are laughing all the way to the bank. If you have to utilize them as your wide receiver 2, running back 2, then okay, I understand why people are like, well, I'm not necessarily comfortable with that. I really am with both these guys being in that sense, but I'm going to hedge bet either way, try to stack as many players like this I can, but these guys are extremely high value and way too low right now on the ADP. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. You in on George, you in on Monty? Throw it in the comments, let me know, and go get your draft guide. I'm telling y'all, it's a good, glorious book for you guys to win trophies, but we'll see you next time. I am out.